Good morning. We are the third grade classrooms from Hemlock Creek, and we just started our third grade opinion writing unit. And the very first thing we have to do in our opinion writing unit is we need to find one of the stakeholders or one of the important people in our buildings, and we need to think about something that we would want to ask them for, and we need to come up with really, really good reasons and examples of why we think we could get this or why we think we deserve something, and we have to try to convince them. So this morning we are joined by the 6 classrooms in third grade, as well as Mrs. Held, our principal, who is going to be the person we are going to try to convince this morning that the kids deserve something. So good morning, Mrs. Held. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Good morning, third graders.
Good morning. We are going to start over in Mrs. Lang's classroom. So the rest of us are going to mute so that we can just listen to Mrs. Lang's room, and they're going to get us started with seeing, first of all, what it is that we're going to ask Mrs. Held for, and then see if we can maybe convince her a little bit as we go.
All right, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Thompson.
Can you hear Jocelyn?
Good morning, Jocelyn.
Morning. We would like a popcorn and movie party in the gym. If you think we won't finish strong on the Badger 3-8, think again. We will promise that we will do our best and finish strong on the Badger 3-8. Imagine if you had to take this test for 2 weeks. That is a long time. And we've never taken a test like this before. Us third graders have never taken this test before either. I know you are also thinking if we do it on a full day where are the other students going to have gyms? Since it will be springtime, they can have gym outside. So can we have a popcorn and movie party?
Well, I think, Jocelyn, that is a good idea. There are some questions, though, that I would have. I am no doubt that all of you third graders are going to do your very best on the Badger 3-8. Some of it is going to be similar to your MAP test because you'll be taking it on computers or on the Chromebooks. But before I would need to agree to a popcorn party in the gym, I would be concerned about who would be cleaning up the popcorn, because I know when I eat popcorn, it's really hard to get all of it inside your mouth, right? Usually there's a mess, and then if people are going to be stamping on it, we want to make sure that we would take care of that. And then the other thing is, because it's the Phi-Ed, that's the classroom for Mrs. Brayman, Mrs. Lupke, I think that we should probably bring them into the conversation at some point and make sure that we just aren't making a decision without involving them. What do you think about that?
All right. We have Addison from our class, and she might be able to answer a little bit of some of those concerns, Mrs. Held. She must have been able to read your mind yesterday. All right, so, Addison, go ahead and go nice and loud, my dear.
Dear Mrs. Held, you have probably heard that the Badger test is coming up soon. I promise us third graders will try our very best and get lots of good sleep while the Badger test is going on. Our third grade teachers have prepared us very well, and I know we're ready for it. But there is one thing. Us third graders are the first to try the Badger test in the school. What I mean by that is 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade are all taking the test. But this is our first time doing it, and the 4th and 5th graders have way more experience than us. So I think we, the 3rd graders, should get a reward for doing the Badger test the first time in our lives. What do you have in mind, you ask? A fun movie in the gym with popcorn on May 1st. It's a good reward because who doesn't love a movie with popcorn in the gym? It's on a half day, so we won't miss any learning. We won't make a mess, and if we do, we will be sure to pick up the popcorn. The gym teachers say it's okay, and all we need to have is your okay now. Please, Mrs. Held, please. We totally deserve it. Your pal, Addison.
All right, nice job, Addison.
Very nice job, Addison. I'm glad to know that you're going to have your sleep and things. And yes, it'll be your first time for taking the test with the Badger, but it'll also be the first time for the 4th and 5th grade as well. The Badger is new this year, so before they used to have to take it on paper and pencil booklet type tests, and now it's going to be online for everybody. I would be more apt to say, rather than rewarding you for just being the first timers, I would like to say maybe more that you are recognized for your effort and your hard work and your stamina. So it's a possibility. My next question would be, what movie have you decided on? Or how would you decide on what movie? Since you have 130 students, how is everybody going to be involved and make sure that they're going to have an enjoyable time?
That's a good question, Mrs. L. We haven't talked about that yet. We mentioned that first we needed to see if we were able to convince you about this, and then that would be our next step. So as teachers, I know we haven't talked about that yet. We'll have to see what the kids decide. Maybe we'll take some nominations and maybe do a grade level vote or something like that.
Okay, I'm glad to know that you've already talked with the physical education teachers and that you already thought about cleaning up. So I think that would be a possibility that we could use the gym on that day.
All right, Mrs. Bixby's class, would you like to add a little more to this?
Yes, I have McKenna here.
Good morning, McKenna and 3rd graders.
Good morning. Dear Mrs. Held, do you know that all of 3rd grade will be taking this huge Badger 3-8 for 2 weeks? We have been told that this will be a very big test, especially because we're the first 3rd graders to take this test. Because of this, I think we deserve a reward of a movie popcorn day in the gym, because we'll be working our hardest and using a lot of stamina and a lot of effort into this test. We won't just be working at school, we'll also be working at home too. There will be good breakfast and good night sleeps before taking the test. All of us will be staring at a screen typing answers for 2 weeks straight. That's why I think we should get a movie and popcorn day in the gym. Sincerely, McKenna.
Okay, so your classroom is in agreement about the movie and popcorn, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anybody, do you know in the 3rd grade, have any allergies that maybe that we would need to provide something alternate besides popcorn for them? Do they have any food allergies in your grade level? We'd want to check that out.
I think we have one in Mrs. Wisniewski's class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want them to feel left out. We'd want to make sure that with the popcorn that they could be included. So we'll have to think about that. Okay?
Mrs. Wisniewski's class, would you like to share?
Absolutely. We have Ella that will be sharing. Let's move it closer. There you go, right there.
We think we should get a fun movie and popcorn in the gym if we try our best on the Badger 3-8. We've been preparing for the Badger 3-8 the whole year. This test will take 2 weeks and our brains will be tired. Plus the Badger test will have reading, typing, writing, and math. That's hard. Another reason we should get to have a fun movie and popcorn in the gym is that we need a break between the Badger 3-8 and the MAP test. The MAP test is hard and the Badger test is hard. That's why we want a movie and popcorn in the gym.
All right. Thank you. I agree. Your brain might be tired because you're going to put your best effort forward. And did you know, boys and girls, that when your brain is tired, that's a sign that you are learning and that you're growing? That's hard sometimes to get through, but that is important. Looks like Mrs. Stickelstad's class is up. Is that correct?
Are you in, Miss Stickelstad? I see them. Are they? Looks like they're oh, there she's moving.
I can
Miss
see them.
Stickelstad, can you hear us? Uh-oh, now maybe we can see them and not hear them. All right, Mrs. Erdman, we'll have you go while we're waiting to see if she can get it figured out. Go ahead, Mrs. Erdman.
Okay, sounds good. Phoebes, come out nice and close. There we go. Introduce yourself first.
My name is Phoebe Huger. I'm in Miss Shirley's class, as you can see.
Nice and
All right.
This is how. After spring break, there will be a test that is called the Badger 3-8. If we work hard, we would like a reward that is super wonderful beyond our awards. It is a movie and in the gym with popcorn. Isn't that exciting? That reason is that we're the first people to try this in Wisconsin. Well, it's the first time in Wisconsin that this test has ever happened. So it's kind of like we're the first guinea pigs to try this. And it's kind of putting a lot of pressure on us. So if we do really well and we hit it off really good, I think we deserve the movie and the popcorn in the gym. And if you would like us to clean it up, we absolutely could, because we are fantastic phantoms. And well, it's whatever you like. So that's what I think.
All right. I like your shirt. Keep calm. That's how I think you need to go into the test, is keep calm. What's the rest of your shirt say? Keep calm, put sprinkles or something on it?
Calm and eat more sprinkles.
Oh, okay. Well, I like the keep calm part for sure. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the sprinkles, but the keep calm part is that you guys have been learning all year, and that I think if you keep calm and as you start the test, you have been prepared. Your teachers, you've been working in your classrooms, learning, and I think you guys are just going to do a great job. So don't put that extra pressure on yourself, okay? All right.
All right, Miss Stickelson, were you able to get on? Can you hear us? We can't hear you. Are you a... We can see you, but we can't hear you. Did you try in a Chromebook, or are you still on your webcam?
Would one of her students want to come down to my office?
Ms. Stickelson, why don't you just send them down? Perfect. We'll just give them a second to get down to Mrs. Held's office.
Okay, so we're looking at May 1st. Is that correct for a date? Third graders? Friday, May 1st. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. Yes.
So that day, Friday, May 1st, is an early dismissal day. We would dismiss at 11:40, and it also happens to be a free PTO book celebration day. So we would need to try to schedule around that if we were to put it on the calendar. So I've got the third graders are here for Mrs. Stickelstad's room. Come on. You guys can look into the camera with me here. All right. Can you see them, or is the sun too glaring?
Sun.
The sun. All right. I'm going to try to fix that. You guys start, okay? Stand right together there.
Go ahead, guys. You can share with us what it is that you want to tell us.
So, let's hear it.
Hello, Ms. Held. I was wondering if we could get a reward if we worked really hard on the Badger 3-8. I think our reward should be a movie and popcorn in the gym with a big screen, because we're like the guinea pigs. The Badger 3-8 is a brand new to us, and things are going to be a lot harder when things are new. It's 2 weeks, and we've never took a test that long before. We will be able to relax and give our brain body a break of all the hard work that we have to do. We would love to have a movie and popcorn for a reward for the hard work on assessment.
Did you have anything to say? No. Okay. All right, some other good explanations. I do want to know that, I just want to clarify that some of you have talked about that the test is 2 weeks long. You won't be testing every day for 14 days, okay? So you'll probably have a couple of days that you'll testing within a 2-week window. So I don't want you to get nervous that, you know, you'll have test, because that would probably stress you out if you were having a test every day for 2 weeks, Monday through Friday. Well, third graders, I think you did a good job of your explanations. And let's go ahead and add it to the calendar as a tentative recognition for you.
Third graders, though, you know you have to do something first, right?
Listen.
What do you have to do first before we can have this?
We have to work on it.
You know, and so that's why I said we'll tentatively put it on the calendar. So now you have to follow up with your end of the bargain to really work hard and put your best effort forth. All right?
Well, thank you everyone for joining us this morning. Thank you, Mrs. Held, for joining us as well. I think this was a good way to kick off our opinion writing unit, so I think we'll be really good at writing the rest of what we have to do throughout the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good. Have a great day, third graders.
Thank you.